Thank you for allowing me to present here. You know, I came here last year, and Mike Saylor he's very good about looking into the future, and he spoke about the iPad. And in the middle of his presentation, I actually emailed back to LA and I said, buy 3 iPads, and we built an amazing iPad application. So yesterday I was looking for the same kind of thoughts or revelations from him. And he made a comment, you might get caught in an elevator. Well, last night going to the party, guess what? We got stuck in an elevator. And I thought, boy, this is one time I wish that you weren't true. And so I made a deal. To get out of the elevator, I made a deal to become an alert early adopter. So. There we go. Okay, so most of you know Guess, but just in case, let me explain. Guess is a global lifestyle brand. We not only sell apparel, we sell accessories, handbag, watches, shoes, eyewear, fragrance, etc. And we operate in, I think, over 90 countries. Just to look at, not everyone knows our portfolio, and it's evolving depending on the geography. So in North America, Guess is our flagship brand. It targets young men and women 18 to 25. Very, very fashion forward. And we have Guess by Marciano. That's here in Europe, which is men and women. In the US, it's just women. It's a little more upscale. And we've just launched G by Guess, which is a little bit for the younger crowd, more affordable. We've launched that in the US just recently, in South Korea and the Philippines, and it's doing quite well. But we're all going for that young demographic who actually is a social media user. So just to show you our global retail presence, we have about 1,421 stores in 90 countries. And it's a mixture. Most of our stores are actually owned and operated, over 500 in North America by us. The remainder is a mixture of basically franchisees and owned stores. So, and just to show you the growth, Guess in fiscal 03 had about $637 million in revenue. Last year we closed out almost at $2.5 billion. And this year will be a little bit south of 3. So you can see there's been considerable growth. Even though a lot of people think of Guess as a 30-year-old brand, the biggest amount of its growth has occurred in the last 5 years. And you can see the operating profits, 16.5%, and that's even in the financial crisis, so it's performed very well. So let's look at our current marketing. Guess was made famous by models. Carlo Bruni, Anna Nicole Smith, Claudia Schiffer, Naomi Campbell. These were all models that were actually founded by Paul Marciano and introduced with Guess. And they make great billboards. They make great advertising campaigns. And we've relied on that for a long time, and I think it's helped us be successful. But, in this day and age, you have to do more. When we look at our digital marketing spend, we have some branded applications, which will show you, the typical iPhone apps. You have to have it. Our demographic requires it. And we also, Google, we're doing a lot of keyword buys. We're buying branders. We're doing remarketing. We're, on Amazon. We have affiliate programs. I mean, we're doing all the normal stuff. So we've created a consumer app. It's called the Style Studio. And in here, what we do is we take the newest product that's not marked down, that has some of the highest margins, and we make it available on this mobile application. And basically, users can go and piece together outfits. They can go post on Facebook to their friends. They can actually, it's tied into our m-commerce application so they can buy it. And it works quite well. And we've gotten, I wouldn't say a lot, but we get a considerable amount of actually mobile transactions. And it's integrated. We have our Facebook initiatives. So we have about 1.2 million members, and it's growing. And it's funny, where US is our biggest business, but France is actually our #1 source of likes. And we do actually send messages, and they're regionalized. And we've tied on our mobile app, we tied it into Twitter and Facebook. So these are just basic things that work, but there's a lot more that we can do. So what are our initiatives? Social is being recognized as a huge initiative in Guess. We've just hired a vice president of social to take on, take all the social initiatives through e-commerce, through, around the globe, and tie them together, because we know with our demographics, it's extremely important. Because this is one of the best ways to interact with customers. Before it was with emails, and Everyone knows our email open rates. They're sitting in, low double-digit percentages. Click-through rates aren't great. So this gives us a much better chance to interact with our customers. And the power of friend recommendations. I think Mike and a number of people yesterday mentioned that when a friend mentions that something's good, it has that, it's convincing, and it works much better. And plus, this is a way to generate brand loyalty. So they talked about Alert, or the gateway product. Sal came and showed this to us, and it took about 30 seconds for us to figure that we wanted to be an early adopter here. I mean, it's amazing. So we have a loyalty program with 4 million customers, and I know exactly what those customers have bought from me. And we've segmented these customers, so I know who's the guys that come, I would say my loyalists that come often. I know the people that come and buy markdowns, etc. But that's all I know is their purchase behavior. And we do ask them, and we give them surveys to come give us some demographic info. But it's very difficult because I'm giving them the rewards, and so what incentive they really have to keep that information up to date? But with Alert, they do. Mike mentioned yesterday that on Facebook, basically it's the best thing. It's the best CRM database because it's self-maintaining. People are going to maintain the quality of that data, and that, with these extended variables, will allow some tremendous amount of segmentation. And if I can combine that with the actual purchase behavior of my customers, think how powerful it is. I could be able to pinpoint segment and give offers to certain segments based on their profitability. And to me, the possibility of reaching customers through Facebook is so much greater than email and other vehicles. So what's our promotion plan? Well, of course, I mean, we have millions and millions of people in our email database. We'll email them. We'll put QR codes. We'll put point of sale messaging, to allow people to download our app. We plan to actually take the gateway product, integrate it in our app, but still also, if they are not a member of loyalty, they can still download Alert. Both ways will work, because as long as we get that customer to basically opt in and agree to provide their information, it'll be good for guests. And in terms of the messaging, we'll give special offers. So in our loyalty program, if they actually download Alert or download the latest app and consent, we'll give them extra points, which would give them discounts on their purchases. And with the targeting capability, if you're my most profitable customer, we'll give you specific offers to you as a segment. So this is going to allow us, instead of before, kind of shotgun approach of marketing, now we can actually target promotions based on people's behavior and based on what they're going to respond to. And what another benefit is, I can use it for prospecting, because if I look at my best customers and I know from the extended Alert data what those customers look like, I can find customers who have that same profile, maybe who haven't bought as much, and target them and try to move them up in the, up the food chain. So we're really, really bullish on Alert. And we want to be the first and the most successful. So, of course, these are expectations. To increase awareness of the brand. I mean, of course, that's why we're going to do it. Great customer loyalty, but we want to be relevant. You saw our demographics. They're in the early 20s. We can cross-market. And then the good news is, if we can see what the likes are of our customers through Alert, we can do cross tie-ins. We're based in LA. I think you guys mentioned SBE, which was one of the favorite restaurants of Nishat, who presented at the global thing. Well, we can go and actually find out people who like to shop, who like to eat at Katsuya or 14, and tie that in with a guest promotion, because we can see from their profile that this would be relevant. So our plans are to have 250,000 super fans in 1 year, and I think that's actually very, very conservative. I think we could do much more than that. And of course, we're not doing this for fun. We're doing this to make money. So, we'll closely monitor the return on investment. But, to me, this is probably one of the most exciting things that, we've seen at Guess in terms of marketing. So, with that, thank you very much.
I know you've been around yesterday, so you know the rules of the game. The audience is speaking and is speaking back and is putting questions And I'm not quite sure how awake you are this morning, but I think the early morning session should have woken you up. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm very sure that you do have a number of questions that would be posed now. Okay, not really woken up yet. How would you, what mechanisms, we heard yesterday, some of the dangers is of course that if negative posts, negative aspects come into critique, and let's say sort of my hobbies is anti-human trafficking work, and a lot of the stuff is to do, you know, in the textile industry, you're very quickly in danger of being accused of using a sweatshop somewhere in India that you might not even have access to. What kind of mechanisms would you have installed to deal with that?
Well, social responsibility and compliance is very, very important to guests. So we have a huge network, and we use various agencies to monitor it. But of course, things can slip through the cracks. Yeah. But I think, you know, the first thing, rather than trying to delete it because, you know, that looks like you're trying to hide something, is we would post a response and show the statistics of the factories we deal with and, you know, the relationships we have. Because I think it has to be, you know, it has to be real.
It has to be real. Any more questions from your side? Wonderful. May I quickly come to you? And this is your microphone.
Hello. Please, one question. I think one of the most impressive things was that you started with already a big fan base with guests. How do you think, because one of the things that is quite complicated on Facebook or on social media is to start as a new brand there, or to start with your brand on Facebook and differentiate from the others and getting an enough base to start doing social media. How do you think you managed to get, I don't remember the number you said, but how do you think you started to get such a fan base so big that allowed you to start with?
Right, so we run e-commerce in about 23 countries. 22 in Europe, and then Canada, US, and South Korea. So it's not fully across the globe, but there's a decent penetration. Actually, the most effective way to increase the fan base was put the like button on the detailed product page. So when someone's looking at a detailed product in e-com, they could just click like. We did that. I think we increased, it was probably 40,000, 40 to 50,000 a month just doing that.
Any more questions? Yes, that's a challenge for me. And I would like to engage the help of people sitting in the row. Could you please pass on the microphone?
Do you match the fans, the one that you know through social networks, with your customers, the one you know and the one with you who you have loyalty programs? How do you do that if you do that?
So here, let me understand the question again.
So on one side you have the fans on Facebook, and on the other side you have your customer with your loyalty program that you know. Do you match them?
Yes, so actually right now we don't, but with the implementation of the gateway, we plan to match them. So basically the idea would be is right now I have a loyalty program and I have a whole bunch of stored data of purchase and behavior data on all these customers. So the plan is to tie that to the Facebook fans through Alert and basically use the gateway as the messaging protocol. So now the customer will have an incentive because all my messaging about him, about the benefits that he's going to get from the loyalty program, and any kind of special offers that don't apply to the general population, only apply to him, they will all be communicated through the gateway product. So that is the strategy.
Thank you very much, and I hope as a customer, if I bought guest jeans, which from now on will of course do, I would not have to carry around any of those cards anymore that sort of fill up your pocket and even a lady's wallet.
Yes, absolutely. So Google Wallet, which they just announced, the application, which basically uses NFC or near-field payments and allows you to go and download all your cards, Guess is a launch partner with them.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. Alert on all sides.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.